Imagine that you can learn from the world around you, that you have the freedom to be where you want, that your children can learn from what is around them and deepen their interests instead of being forced to sit between four walls in a school. The whole world is your classroom. Like here, we are in a sanctuary for proboscis monkeys in the Malaysian part of Borneo. The proboscis monkeys had lost their homes, so when the land was prepared for palm oil plantations, they arranged a special place for them here. Worldschooling is about learning from the reality around us naturally by leaving the natural curiosity intact, and often through play. Worldschooling and digital nomadism involves plenty of movement between locations. The children quickly adapt to the way of the new life. So a long drive can often be fun for the kids and quite tiresome for the parents. Every day is an adventure in itself.
We're on a boat. We're heading for the rapids, aren't we, Winston?
Yeah.
And are the rapids scary?
Pretty scary. How does this one?
This is the mega long rapids, this one. Right, hold on, kids. Are you ready? Are you ready, Henry?
Yeah!
Are you ready, Winston?
Yeah!
Does it even fit? Are you ready, Linka? Oh.
In February, we visited the White Canyon on the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt. Our Bedouin guide assures us that it's okay to climb 20 meters down the rope with the children. The canyon has sand that is almost as white as snow. It would be great to bring a toboggan next time. It was a very long and exciting day. A visit to Egypt is of course not complete without climbing inside of a pyramid and seeing the mummies and sarcophagus for real in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. We often take the children's wishes into account when we plan our route. Both boys have shown a great interest in volcanoes and geology, so it led to a trip to Italy, where we climbed 3 active volcanoes this spring. We started to climb one of the craters of Mount Etna, Cratere Silvestre, which is in Sicily. Here, there is actually snow, even though it's so close to Africa. By becoming free learners, instead of sitting in a classroom, I believe that the children will be developing a curiosity for learning that lasts. I think the natural way is to learn by exploring the world around us. This is exactly what worldschooling is. Worldschooling is a form of homeschooling. It rarely occurs in the home. Worldschoolers can decide for themselves if they want to or do not want to follow a curriculum. It involves a lot of work for the parents to introduce children to things they might be interested in. For our part, this often means visits to museums and events. We also think it's important that the children learn about economics. They are often involved in our company. Sometimes they will help being models for our hammock photos, of course for a small payment. Worldschoolers are often traveling digital nomad families, traveling longer or shorter periods. This means that the friendships can be intense, and that they might know or might not know where they will be meeting again somewhere. Knowing that you can be wherever you want to get a higher living standard and satisfy your wanderlust gives a very special feeling of freedom and happiness, which is hard to reach for us otherwise. traveling and discovering the world is the normal state of a child who grows up with world schooling. Both children and adults learn about different cultures, religions, and why people are like they are. One can see that there is more than just one way to live. And discover how states function and the damages they are causing the people within or outside of it, and small ways to go around them and be part of creating a better life. Contrary to popular belief, you do not have to be rich to be a world schooling family and give your children the opportunity to learn about the reality of the world. What the families we have met have in common is that they are often self-employed and often run their businesses from cheap countries with poor taxation. Another thing they have in common is that they have the guts to take the risks and are creative. It's a very important skill that you don't often get in public schools. Digital nomad families have to be prepared for that the world schooling digital nomad family life is like a roller coaster. No other day is like the other, and it never gets boring. There are even families who give birth in different countries during the travels, and where children spend their childhood growing up in different countries. And there are also those who have a proper home base, where they bring the world into their homes instead. For instance, by inviting people from other countries and doing projects about different countries and cultures. Some countries do not allow any form of homeschooling, unfortunately, like in Sweden that we are from. We had to leave the country in order to become a world schooler and have our home base in a place where we can world school and pay the taxes. For us it meant selling a house and getting rid of all of our ties to Sweden where I come from, but it was necessary. But for us it wasn't debatable. The freedom of education was much more important than staying in a place we liked, but where our kids would have to be forced to be conformed in a mandatory state school. Most families who practice world schooling usually do it in cheap countries to stretch the budget a bit more. Some popular world schooling hubs are Ubud in Bali, Penang in Malaysia, Chiang Mai in Thailand, Mexico and Prague. We will make it work by having one of us working while the other parent is in charge of world schooling and sometimes takes in turn. It can be refreshing to get a break from being a parent. It can also be really exciting to plan educational and fun activities. Contrary to what many people believe, the digital nomad lifestyle can be very social. There is an urge to find your tribe. You'll learn quickly how to find other nomadic families, and it's not unusual to see the same families again in different places.